You don't have career chaos. You have a system that was never designed for your brain. At 18, they asked you a dangerous question. What do you want to be? Not what do you want to explore. Not what problems do you want to solve. Not how do you think. Just pick one label. And if you couldn't, they called you unfocused, distracted, inconsistent. But here's the part nobody says out loud. The people who struggle to choose one thing are often the ones capable of building things that never existed before. Because specialization creates workers. Synthesis creates architects. If you love psychology and design and business and technology and philosophy at the same time, you are not confused. You are cognitively overloaded with potential. And that feels like chaos only in a world that rewards narrow lanes. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to understand why the very trait that made you feel behind is the one that makes you anti-replaceable in the age of AI. And if you've ever felt ashamed explaining your career path to someone who picked early, this is where that shame ends. The real reason you feel behind. Let's start with the pressure. Specialization feels safe. It's clean. It's easy to explain at family dinners. I'm a lawyer. I'm an engineer. I'm a doctor. Clear label, clear box. But if you're someone who loves psychology, design, business, philosophy, technology, storytelling, and fitness all at once, that box feels small. Psychologists call it identity foreclosure. It's when you commit to one role before you've explored who you actually are. For most people, that works. For you, it feels like slow suffocation. You don't get bored because you're undisciplined. You get bored because your brain is wired for pattern recognition across domains. And here's what nobody tells you. The more domains you understand, the more powerful your pattern recognition becomes. That's not chaos. That's cognitive leverage. Why specialists feel ahead. Early. Let's be honest. In your 20s, specialists look like they're winning. They pick one thing. They go deep. They progress fast. Meanwhile, you're exploring, switching interests, connecting ideas. It feels messy. But here's what's happening under the surface. Specialists build depth. Generalists build range. Depth compounds linearly. Range compounds exponentially. At 25, the specialist might be ahead. At 40, the synthesizer becomes dangerous. Because innovation rarely happens inside a single field. It happens at the intersection of fields, and intersectional thinking is your natural habitat. The Leonardo principle: imagine hiring Leonardo da Vinci to paint a mural. Instead of finishing the commission, he disappears. He studies anatomy. He sketches flying machines. He examines water currents. To his employer, that looked like distraction. To history, it looked like inevitability. Leonardo didn't have 5 careers. He had one career: curiosity. His art was better because he studied anatomy. His engineering was better because he studied nature. His creativity came from synthesis, not specialization. That's the shift. Stop asking, which one should I choose? Start asking, how do these connect? Because combination beats isolation. Being the 500th best specialist makes you replaceable. Being the only person who combines coding, behavioral psychology, storytelling, and aesthetics, that makes you a category of one. And categories of one don't compete. They define markets. The lie about focus. You were told focus means eliminating everything else. But real focus isn't elimination. It's sequencing. You don't have to do everything at once. You master one vertical for a period of time. Then you pivot, then you layer. 2 years deep in design, 3 years deep in marketing, then psychology, then tech. Each new skill becomes a filter. By 40, you don't just have experience. You have a mental operating system no specialist can replicate. Because they see problems through one lens. You see them through 5. That's not scattered. That's strategic. The AI reality check. Here's where this becomes urgent. We are entering an era where AI dominates specialization. AI can outcode most junior developers. It can draft legal contracts. It can analyze medical data. AI is the ultimate specialist. It dominates narrow lanes. But it struggles with synthesis across human context. It cannot feel the emotional difference between a design that converts and a design that resonates. It cannot intuit cultural nuance the way someone who understands history, psychology, and technology simultaneously can. The future doesn't belong to master of ones. It belongs to translators, people who can move between engineering and art, between data and emotion, between logic and narrative. If you love too many things, you are not outdated. You are anti-fragile. The scanner advantage. Some people are built to climb one mountain. Others are built to explore the entire range. Career coach Barbara Scher called these people scanners. Scanners don't quit because they lack discipline. They leave when they've extracted the mental model. Once they understand how something works, the dopamine fades. Not because they're lazy, because they've completed the puzzle. The mistake is forcing a scanner to behave like a specialist. The strategy is building a portfolio career. You might consult by day, create content on weekends, study philosophy at night. To a specialist, that looks exhausting. To you, that's energizing. Because variety isn't distraction for you, it's restoration. Switching from analytical work to creative work resets your brain. Your career doesn't need to be a straight line. It needs to be an ecosystem. And ecosystems thrive on diversity. The quiet shame nobody talks about. There's something else nobody admits. Loving too many things comes with quiet shame. You watch people who chose early. They build titles. They build LinkedIn bios that sound stable. And you? You build ideas. You build half-finished projects. You build knowledge in 10 directions. And sometimes, late at night, you wonder, did I waste time? That question hurts, because the world rewards visible progress. But synthesis is invisible for years. Nobody claps when you connect philosophy to marketing. Nobody promotes you for understanding design psychology before you have a title for it. Generalist growth feels slow until it compounds, and when it compounds violently. The specialist climbs one ladder. The synthesizer builds scaffolding between ladders. At first, that looks inefficient. Later, it looks like power. So, if you've ever felt embarrassed explaining your path, good. It means you're building something most people can't see yet, and invisible leverage is still leverage. The hidden superpower. Here's what changes everything. The more interests you integrate, the harder you are to replace. Replaceable people are predictable. Irreplaceable people are multidimensional. You can sit in a room with engineers and understand their constraints. You can talk to designers and understand aesthetics. You can speak business and understand strategy. You become the bridge, and bridges control flow. In complex systems, the node that connects everything holds the most power. That can be you, but only if you stop apologizing for your range. How to turn chaos into structure. Here's the practical shift. 1. Choose one vertical for now. Go deep. Build competence. 2. Don't delete your other interests. Schedule time for them. 3. Document what you learn. Start building connections consciously. Ask, how does psychology improve my marketing? How does philosophy improve my leadership? How does design improve my communication? 4. Every 2 to 3 years, layer another vertical. This is sequential mastery, not random jumping. Structured evolution. Over a decade, that compounding becomes unfair. The identity shift. You don't have career chaos, you have a career ecosystem. And ecosystems collapse when diversity is removed. So stop trying to amputate your curiosity. You don't need a smaller box, you need a bigger framework. The world will always reward specialists in the short term. But the people who redefine industries, they synthesize, they connect, they translate. If you've felt behind because you love too many things, understand this. You are not behind. You are early in a longer game. And in the next video, I'll break down exactly how to structure a pie-shaped career without burning out. Because curiosity without structure still leads to overwhelm. If this hit you, subscribe. Because we don't build linear careers here, we build leverage, and leverage beats lanes.